Hey, welcome to me talking about things that I want to talk about because I think they will hopefully help you. So thank you very much for listening. Good morning. On today's Cuppa with Cookie, we are discussing whether you should start CrossFit. Now, I'm a little bit biased. I want you to know that from the get-go. I love it. It's how I train. It's the community I'm involved in, and I think it's really, really good fun, and there is always a place for anyone who wants to start. But yeah, just so you know, I'm a little bit biased. I'm going to try and give you an unbiased view and ask yourself some questions to decide whether CrossFit is the thing for you to try in 2021. First of all, should you start? The question is, should you start CrossFit? The answer is, it depends. What are you looking for? Are you looking for a community that brings people together and encourages you to come to the gym, encourages you to work out? You might start getting texts. Do you want texts from people at the gym saying, hey, I hope you're okay. How have you been doing? I haven't seen you in class for ages. That's the kind of thing that CrossFit does bring. So that can be a really big plus point for encouraging you to start. I'd say that's definitely one of the main reasons why I absolutely love it. It's the friends that you meet and the relationships that you make with those people in your gym. It's really, really good fun. Another thing to think about is, what do you want from your exercise? Are you looking to get stronger, to get faster? CrossFit can bring all these things for sure, but it might not be the most effective or quickest way for you to get towards your goals. For example, if you want to be really, really strong and you're spending, half an hour, 20 minutes every class that you do, doing a Metcon, and you're running around getting really sweaty, maybe that's not the best way for you to build muscle. Another thing to think about, how much gym experience do you already have? Do you already know how to move? How much have you worked with a coach? How much have you worked with a PT who might have helped you out in learning how to do these bigger compound movements? Now, if you haven't at all, CrossFit can be a really good place to start, because if you find a great box, whatever coach you have, they should be giving you that attention every class to really teach you how to move your body functionally and how to move safely as well, which is obviously really important, because that's one of the big things that CrossFit gets a lot of stick for, is being dangerous or people getting injured. Now, I'm not going to deny in any way that it's not a dangerous sport, because in my opinion, it is a sport and it can be dangerous. If you're going to do movements that you don't have a coach to support you with, if you're doing technical things that require a lot of speed and strength, equaling your power, having both those things happening at the same time can put you at risk of injury, but so can anything. And if you're going to challenge yourself in your fitness class and in your exercise, then day-to-day life becomes way, way easier. So all of a sudden, if you have to lift a large box, or you've got to run for the bus, or this, that and the other, you're much more well equipped to do that without injuring yourself, which I think is really cool. So that's another great reason to get involved. Reasons why it might be best for you to start somewhere else, maybe ask a CrossFit box if they can do a PT. A lot of CrossFit boxes will run a fundamentals course, so you'll do that for maybe 4 or 6 weeks, and you'll learn how to move your body in a way that means that you will not injure yourself during CrossFit. Another thing that you should think about is, are you looking for something that you can constantly improve at? There's always going to be a way for you to get better in CrossFit. There's always going to be something that you can work on to improve your strength, your speed, like your flexibility. There will always be stuff to work on, which is a great motivator. It means you can set goals and look towards them and think, that's where I want to be. But you need to be prepared to put the work in. So for example, overhead mobility, getting your arms up here and over your head and then squatting down. It takes your entire body to do that. But if you're not prepared to work on your mobility, stability in those end of range of motion areas, then that's never going to come for you, and you can't expect your body to be able to do that unless you're willing to put that work in. So if you're excited by that and you want to give that a go and you want to look at these movements and say, that is something I want to learn to do, then it's a great motivator to get you in the gym. But if you're just wanting to get a little bit sweaty and not really care about your technique or how much better you're getting at the movements, then it's probably not for you, because if you're not willing to put the work in to ensure you're doing it properly, then you're not going to end up in a great place. There are plenty of other ways to get your exercise in. You can start running, a bit boring, I think. I love it if I've got some good music on, but it can get so repetitive. You can go to a regular gym and start using machines and things like this. They do have a place, definitely. They work very specific muscles. But what CrossFit does is brings that into a way that you can really apply to real life. which is hilarious if you have seen any CrossFit and you've seen them doing like handstand push-ups and walking on their hands and like kipping pull-ups and all these kind of things, which admittedly, how often are you going to use that in real life? Potentially not a lot, but you know, your standard, your deadlift, your squat, even being able to pull yourself up onto things, they can come in handy and be really useful skills for your whole life. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up what the main questions that I think you should think about when you're deciding, do I want to start this as my new exercise regime? I think the biggest things to remember are you will meet good people if you find a good box, and once you've met good people you will not be able to leave, because every session is so much fun and you just want to go and play around like a great big, you know, like, we don't get to play around as adults very much, so it's great to just go and have some fun. So yes, that's my opinion. You need to decide what's best for you. What I'd really like you to do is ensure you're finding a great box. If they are just going to let you join and don't give you any kind of induction, if they don't pay attention to you in the classes, if you don't feel like you've had some level of PT, like personal training with that coach in that session, then question it and think, what's going, like, why if I'm unsure of this movement, how come the coach isn't asking me? Please always feel welcome to put your hand up and ask a question. As a coach, I know that when somebody asks a question, at no point would I be annoyed. I know that they're clarifying, okay, so is this how I do it? Am I doing this correctly? Which I would much rather you do. And my final point, while CrossFit sometimes is about finding a pain cave, which is how some people would describe it, you're pushing your body to limits that you haven't yet figured out. You don't know where the line is, you don't know what you can do, and that's one of the huge things that is amazing. It makes you realise, wow, I am capable of some really cool stuff. However, there is a difference between trying hard and your muscles aching and pain. If it's a shooting pain, if it's any kind of instant zappy pain, stop. People will continue going sometimes through pain like that, and it will only put you in a worse situation. If you stop immediately and say that didn't feel right, you can then look for the reasons why you felt that pain, and your coach should be able to say, oh okay, so that movement overhead, that wasn't great for you, maybe you've got something going on in your shoulder and something in your neck. We look at that, we say, we find a new movement. You can now do a front squat instead. You can now do a goblet squat. We now change what we're doing to accommodate for that injury and look after you. So if your coach says, keep going, get out of there. You need a new box. Gosh. Oh God, my cup has got a bit cold. I've been talking for that long today. But I think that gives you an overview of my opinion on CrossFit. I do love it. I think you'll enjoy it. But just be careful and selective about your box and your coach, and ensure you're going to enjoy it. Do a taster session. See how you feel. If you walk into the gym and you see all those smiles, you'll probably decide that yes, it is the right thing for you to do in 2021. So let's give it a go. Thank you guys for sticking around for a couple with coffee. A couple with Cooki of coffee. It's decaf today, I've already had one. And I'll see you in the next one.